Ah, yes, I am Gotham's Reckoning. Blah, 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 blah. No one can stop me. What are those giant knights? Oh!
Hello everyone, this is Brandon with Fanboys Forever.
And this is Jared.
And we're here today to take a look at the brand new Power Attack Batman action figures from Mattel.
As you can see, we have a smorgasbord of other Batman that Mattel has produced over the years, starting all the way from Zipline Attack Batman to the Toys R Us exclusive Arkham City blue and gray repaint that they did. So let's go ahead and have a closer look at the figures themselves. Alright guys, so here we have the two different basic Batman that you can get right now that are in the comic book costumes. I have the Twin Blades Batman here.
And this is Battle Gauntlet Batman.
So let's talk about Twin Blades for a minute. As you can see, the paint scheme here is reminiscent of your classic kind of gray and blue Batman look from the comic books.
And this is the modern black and gray Batman. This look is actually very similar to the Batman Incorporated series that's been going on since last year. It's the finale for Grant Morrison's multi-year run on Batman.
So these guys share the exact same sculpt and the exact same articulation. So I'll go ahead and talk about the sculpt a little bit with this one. As we can see, this is a beautiful new sculpt that Mattel has created. I really love it. There's a lot of armor here that's incorporated into the basic tights look. As you can see, there's a lot of chest plates and things going on here that's very reminiscent of the Dark Knight armor. Also down at the legs, we have these kind of large hulking boots, with the toes especially are very large, with a few fasteners here, and the gauntlets themselves are extremely reminiscent of the Dark Knight gauntlets, with the kind of straight edges. The belt is kind of your classic Batman comic book belt, and the buckle is sort of sculpted like the Dark Knight belt as well. One thing to notice is there's even some extra sculpting in the back. As we can see, there's this sort of juncture where the armor connects. As we can see, the head itself is kind of a super deformed version of comic book Batman. It sort of takes cues from the Batman combined with the comic book, and a little bit of the movie in terms of the ear shape, how it's got kind of the three-dimensional look to the ears that are curved in just a little bit. So we have what I would consider a perfect conglomeration of looks here for Batman. As you'll notice that one of the things that's special about this figure is not every part is sculpted, because we have the return of the cloth capes, as Brave and the Bold featured for a few years there. DC Universe Classics collectors, some of them prefer these cloth capes. I personally prefer sculpted capes, but for the purpose of a children's action figure line and all the vehicles and things that Batman actually has to sit down in, the cloth cape works best, and as we can see, it's pretty nice here.
The only QC issue we had with either figure is that there's just a little bit of bunching at the side of this cape. It's just not on track quite right. The articulation is very basic. He has cuts at the shoulders, joints at the elbows, there's a cut at the waist, ball joint at the neck, so he gets a little bit of motion up and down, but it's mostly side to side, and then cuts at the hips. His legs can go up and down. It's the exact same articulation scheme as the Brave and the Bold action figures from the last few years. Paint-wise, there's not much to say. There's not a whole lot on any of the figures. The gloves and the boots are painted, and then the symbols painted on, and there's some paintwork on the head sculpt.
As for accessories, Twin Blades Batman has, you guessed it, twin blades. So each one pops into his hands here. You can pop them at two different points, either this area or this area. I know what you're thinking, this looks like it's for a missile launcher. Well, that's because it is. Okay, so we'll pop them in right here, and ta-da. He holds them really well, they're really tight. The great thing about these particular accessories is that, as you can see, they have these missile endings. They load into the Total Destruction Power Attack Batmobile that Mattel just released, so it's a really great bonus. It's also worth noting that these accessories are just recasts in slightly different colored plastic of a projectile that the Batmobile already comes with. But it still adds some nice variety to both pieces, and a great idea by Mattel.
Battle Gauntlet Batman includes one accessory, an oversized yellow Batarang. He can hold it at multiple points with one or both hands. It's a pretty cool accessory. It's a little goofy. I don't know quite what you do with it, but it's definitely nice to have something thrown in.
So guys, Brandon and I have a very strange confession to make. Some folks may be excited by the 6-inch Movie Masters for Dark Knight Rises, and some poor fools are actually excited about the Dark Knight Rises 3 3/4 action figures.
Those are figures? I thought I was looking at pictures of garbage on the internet.
Oh, they are garbage. They've just been molded in the shape of figures.
But Power Attack is where it's at.
We can't wait to show you guys plenty of other great Power Attack figures. From now on, Mattel, we are the cheerleaders of this line.
Absolutely.
All right, Brandon, I would say that these figures are very well deserving of a 3.5 out of 5 stars.
I think so. They're made out of high quality materials. It's not really garbagey plastic. You get a good value for your money. Being kid-oriented toys, they're not spectacular. They're not groundbreaking, but they're very solid, and they're toys. I mean, that's just what we like about them. There.
If there is a child in your life who loves Batman, you cannot go wrong by buying them Power Attack action figures. And trust me, if you love Batman, you can't go wrong either. So until next time, subscribe.
Thank you very much.